What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Weekend Golfer, the podcast where everybody, everyday golfers like you and me, we get our voice. And today is a very special episode. I'm excited about this one because for the very first time on the Weekend Golfer podcast, we have a guest that's going to be joining us on the podcast today. And one of the goals of this show, one of the goals that I had for this podcast was just to be able to always be in a position where we create conversations that truly matter. We're not just strictly about, golf equipment, scorecards, but really about the people that make this game great. So today we're going to be talking about something that probably does not get discussed really enough. And that is, what is it like being a black golfer in today's game? So, and first and foremost, I want to go ahead and put this out there. This isn't about creating division. This conversation that we're about to have on the podcast, it is not about creating division. It is strictly about sharing experiences, listening to different perspectives, and hopefully, helping grow the game that everybody loves, that we all love. So, without further ado, let's kick this thing off, man. Let's go. Let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So before we dive into the conversation, obviously, I know you guys are super excited about that, but I also want to continue the trend that I wanted to make sure that you guys see that any course that I play, whether you're able to go out there or whether you do play it or not, that I at least tell you about what to expect, or in the chance that you do or do not get to go play it, you can kind of live it through me. So continuing on with the Weekend Golfer course review, we went to recently, I played this course after the recording of the podcast here, but nonetheless, we went out to Oak Hollow Golf Club, which is out in the High Point, Greensboro area in North Carolina. We did a mini golf tournament with my family. So my dad, we plan this like little family kind of get together every single year, where all the golfers who are in the family, they come together. We play that morning. That afternoon, we have a cookout at one of my family members' house. Just have a good time, eat cake, eat a lot of good food, have a good time, have a little good fellowship, and everybody eventually goes home and goes to sleep. So, but with this round, I want to let you guys know. So again, on the tier system that we're ranking for the golf course review, we rate the course conditions, we rank the pace of play, we are ranking the value. I'm adding in the practice facilities because of after the first one, I feel like this is something that might be good as well. And then also the fun factor. So again, I have my notes here. I'm ready to go. If you're excited, leave a like, leave a comment down below. If you have played this course, if you have not, let me know. I'm definitely be excited to hear about that. But without further ado, let's get into the review. All right. So Oak Hollow Golf Club golf course. I'm not full sure on the last bit of the title, but I know it's Oak Hollow. So I will say this. The green fee, number one, we paid $46 on a weekend. I want that to just marinate in your soul, like marinate on some nice little chicken that you about to cook this evening. That is crazy. $46 on a weekend. I actually paid $51 because I got a small bucket of golf balls for $5 and to go hit on the range. So we'll get into that in the practice facility aspect. But $46 on a weekend, that is insane. You pay $46 during the week, probably a Monday or a Tuesday at any of these like Charlotte area golf courses. It is insane. So, but $46, I was already excited. I was already hyped. I was already ready to go. I will say I was a little tired. I didn't get a lot of sleep the night before. That was just kind of a little bit of a rough night, but nonetheless, we were here. We were ready to go play some golf. And for $46, we was going to enjoy every single dollar that we could. So, and what's interesting about that is that kind of leads me into the course conditions. So Oak Hollow is, like I said, it's out in High Point area, Greensboro area, in the little mid to northern part of North Carolina. For those that are not familiar with the North Carolina area, I honestly thought Oak Hollow was in really good shape, especially for a public course at that price point. Man, it looked pretty good. The fairways were well maintained. The greens rolled pretty consistently. The overall, course looked like it was pretty much taken care of for a course that was kind of right on a lake too. I'm not sure what lake that was. They had like the scenery and all that. Like it was just an awesome view. I think we even talked about that after the round when everybody got together at the house. All the guys were just talking about, man, it looked nice. The lake, it was a warm day, so the lake looked extra good because we was like, can we take a quick dip and then come back out and finish playing? But Overall, though, the course, I have to give you an 8.0, an 8 out of 10. I'll just stick with that. We give you an 8 out of 10 because the course was really good. It wasn't perfect. There was obviously some spots where you get that crabgrass that grows in the fairway, some things of that nature. But for under $50 on a weekend, I walked away very impressed for that day. So an 8 out of 10 on the course conditions. Pace of play was pretty solid. The starter, he was working with us because I had called previously and said, "Hey, I got." Initially we were supposed to have 9 guys coming, so it was like I said, it was a whole little mini tournament. But we had 9 guys coming. Eventually, ended up being six, and one guy didn't necessarily play, so we had seven totally with us. But it ended up being like 6 guys that played, 6 or 7 guys. I can't remember the number. Neither here nor there. But we were supposed to have 3 times, ended up ending with two, was able to work with the starter. He was very nice. Sometimes you go to these courses and like if you book a tee time, people don't show up. Sometimes the golf courses, they're a little bit more strict about certain things because you're backing up pace of play or whatever the case may be. This guy was really cool, had no issues. Like, hey, you guys are good to go. We got just go with who you got. If anybody comes in, we'll help them out. We'll get it going. So awesome, great. So we get going, we're going. We got a group in front of us, but I feel like I only got up on the group in front of us maybe twice out of the entire round. So I'm gonna give pace of play an 8.5 out of 10. I actually put an 8 on my notes, but I'm gonna put an 8.5 because we just really kept moving through the round. It didn't feel rushed, even though we knew the guys behind us because they were obviously in our group. It was my dad, my uncle, and my cousin. We knew where they were. We weren't rushed though. They were the only ones hitting up on us, trying to be fun, honestly. But we were also, we weren't standing around waiting on every shot. There was a couple holes that I think that we were maybe a par three here and there where we were waiting on a couple guys just to kind of clear the green. But other than that, I mean, we had pretty much the course in our own way. Like we had no issues with that. As far as value goes, I'm gonna immediately tell you this is a 9 out of 10 for me because this is where Oak Hollow really shined for me. $46 for a course in this type of condition is really hard to beat. Like I said, the fairways at the end of the day were nice. The rough was actually a different tier level of cut. There's a lot of different type of undulations, and I will say, if you have never played Oak Hollow, you should honestly consider it calling it Oak Hills because some of them hills in the fairway were insane. You can't see that on whatever app you use, whether it's the Grant, 18 birdies. We couldn't necessarily tell from that. But I remember the second hole, like you're teeing off and the road is right next to you and it bends. When you tee off, you want to land in this one, like as far right of the fairway at the like 240, 250 mark. Because if you go any further, it's rolling down a hill and everything shifts to the left all the way into the green, which is back up to the right. So the course out there, like you definitely want to, get your eye on the course and do what you need to do on the golf course because it was crazy. Honestly, the hills that were out there, it was insane. But for the value, again, $46 on a weekend, you can't beat that. So that's a 9 out of 10 for me. Practice facilities. I will say this is probably the only spot where Oak Hollow was a little bit down for me. And it's not that far down in a score, but this was the only time that I felt like they were a little bit lower. The practice facilities, I mean, they get the job done. They had a very huge putting green that's right before you get to the driving range. Driving range is not super duper long. There wasn't any type of yardage system that I didn't see, so I didn't know even how far I was hitting to. I'm just hitting targets, but I have no idea the distance that I'm trying to hit to. It wasn't really fancy, nothing too crazy out there. It's just kind of a way of well, really an area for you to loosen up. Um, but at the end of the day, there were two things that I felt that kind of brought the score down for me. Number one was the fact that I didn't have any yardaging numbers for the targets. I didn't know where these little, the chipping nets were. I didn't know how far each post was or anything like that. I'm just hitting the ball, hoping that, I mean, I'm hitting it, but I don't know where it's going. Um, Secondly, was that I guess they might have recently redone the driving range grass. It was very very thick, like not like thick rough, but like it was the cut that you would have, but it was thick. Like I would hit a few shots and it take me maybe three or four. Like a proper divot, proper divot on the range. You should have a straight line. It took me twice to even see the dark part in the grass. Like I hit it once and all I took off was the top layer of grass, and then hit another layer, and then I finally kind of got in. And then a few shots I dug in a little bit too steep, especially with my wedges, and I ended up, just chunking grass out. And then I'm like, there's about an inch and a half thick of grass that the ball is just sitting on, but it's all this is underneath. So I would say if the practice facility had a little bit more of grass similar to the fairway cut, that'd have been really good. and then also just some yardages to be able to see, hey, how far am I aiming to hit this ball? So I think that'd be good for an improvement if I could if I could suggest that. But nonetheless, I'd give it a 7 out of 10, a 7 out of 10 for that. And then lastly is our fun factor. Obviously, this is probably one of those higher points because, like I said, we did a little mini tournament. So my dad's vision is to always make sure that our family stays, we see each other at least once a year, if not twice. So we put together this kind of little mini tournament, made some rules for it and everything, like a full list of rules, making sure people weren't cheating. Getting some random scores. But we played simple golf. Everybody played their own ball. Bogey was your friend. If you outscored bogey, then you're done on that hole. You can keep playing it, obviously, but you put on your scorecard bogey. Um, at the end of it, though, we realized that the way that we were playing, none of us were playing up to the way that we wanted to. So, like a lot of guys, based off of that type of concept of just playing bogey golf, weren't even putting. So not a lot of putts happened on the golf course. So we'll definitely tweak it up for the next one around. But at the end of the day, it was family who was out there. So we had, like I said, a mini tournament, full family competition, little trash talk here and there. But at the end of the day, 9.5 for fun factor because it was a great course, affordable course at that, and we were also able to have a lot of fun out there. So all in all, if you're back in the High Point area, if you happen to go out that area, Oak Hollow is definitely a golf course you need to tee it up at. I'm already told, we were already talking before we finished the golf course that we wanted to be back out there. So we're going to plan another time to go back out to Oak Hollow. But at the end of the day, Oak Hollow was an 8.5 out of 10 overall score for me. So I'll definitely be back out there for that. So if you want to find a good golf course, and you're in the High Point area, Greensboro area, go check out Oak Hollow. They've had weddings out there. That's how we ended up finding out about it. One of my aunts went to a wedding out on the property, found out, saw the lake, all that good stuff, and she was like, "You guys got to come play it." So that's how we got it. It's affordable. It's well maintained. It's a very interesting and fun layout, but it is a very kind of challenging layout. And at the end of the day, it's a place where you can make great memories with family and friends if you have them in that area. And for under $50, you can't beat that. So Oak Hollow, 8 out of 10 for me altogether. 8.5 out of 10, I think is what I said. But at the end of the day, I'll definitely be back out there. So all right, weekend golfers, definitely excited to have our very first podcast with one of our guests. You might have seen him on TikTok, on Instagram, all those good pages and everything that you need to make sure you following him on for sure. Because I'm trying to get to his level as far as followers go, because he got more than me anyway. But Mr. JP Swings, Josh Pendergrass, welcome to the podcast, man. Appreciate you doing it.
What's up? What's up? Well, you'll be there in no time, man. I think you're already halfway there.
I mean, we're getting close. We're at 890. I keep bouncing in this spot of 890,
Yeah,
and I'm like, we trying to cap that line.
you're not too far.
Nah, we gonna get there. So I need everybody to, if you following JP, just jump over and follow me. That just makes it even easier that way. If you're not, just do that. But yeah, man, that's gonna be real honest and open conversation. Just wanted to kind of introduce yourself first. So just tell everybody, how you, who you are, and what kind of golf content that you're creating.
So like you said, JP swings. Honestly, I started playing golf during COVID and it was started recording then. Most of the content is just everyday kind of golf stuff. Practice sessions at the range, on course sometimes, and then randomly just kind of how I'm feeling in the moment. Like I was driving by a golf course one day while I was still working. It was just made me sad while I was driving. Um, so, just kind of sporadically here and there, throwing in some in the moment feelings.
No, yeah, I definitely understand. So is that like that time period, I guess, like that first time when you first like fell in love with the game of golf?
Oh, that moment, I was at Catawba Creek in Gastonia, hole 14, absolutely smoked the drive. And all I had was just, about 20 yards to the pin,
Hmm.
but it was a bunker right in front of me. And I was like, just don't acknowledge the bunker. Just try and get on the green and leave yourself a good putt. And that was my first eagle because I chipped in. Not yeah, first eagle because I chipped in.
There you go.
And that feeling, man, I've been chasing it since.
Man, I think most of us are all been trying to. I remember my first chip in birdie that I got, which was same kind of thing situation, just being reintroduced more or less to the game. My uncle used to take me out a long time ago, but then in my back, when we were in college, I did my internship with the YMCA right down the road, and the sports director ended up taking me out. We went to go play Riverbend, and on the 18th hole, chipped in for a birdie, and then that was what kind of got me in. Was there somebody that like introduced you to the game, so to speak?
So looking back, I wanted to play golf when I was in high school, but I didn't really know the different avenues or how to get clubs or anything. I grew up in a single parent home, so like trying to introduce another sport when I'm already playing basketball, football, and running track.
Hmm.
Now throwing in this sport that's going to cost you a couple $100 just to get clubs and equipment, it wasn't really an option. But at that time, I didn't know that I could have just went to Goodwill and got a couple clubs. Because
Hmm.
the coach at my high school was like, "Hey, if you get a club and you go out to the range and you play around or something, you show me that you're actually committed to it. We'll work on getting the clubs." I just didn't know I could go to Goodwill and find something for cheap. So I was like, forget it. Then got in college. My little brother was playing with some old hand-me-down clubs.
Hmm.
So he went off to school. He left him at the house. I took him back to Gardner Webb with me. And of course, I had never played around, hadn't really hit a ball. But I don't know if you knew Dustin, but me and him went and played Riverband
Hmm.
after finals.
Wow.
And
Okay.
I don't want to say he exactly introduced it to me, but he was like the first person I played around the golf with. Um, Even though my best friend now has played golf all his life, it
Hmm.
was a random, "Hey, what you doing today? Nothing. You want to go play golf? Yeah, let's go." And that was it. And it was off and on for a few years, and then the last 2 years, it just that bug bit me again, and
Hmm.
it's like I got to play as much as possible.
Yeah. Now that bug is a serious bite. I mean, I'm seeing a lot more of like normal, like the people that you wouldn't be expecting to be playing golf. Now they all playing. You see LeBron and you see Kevin Hart now and all these guys. They're trying to get
Yep.
into it. Like even the Masters this past year, they had Jason Kelsey, all these other people out there just to kind of collaborate with the game of golf. And I'm like, it's definitely growing for sure.
Uh huh.
And kind
Yeah.
of, yeah.
It it. I remember at a time where all you heard for like several years was how golf was dying, and then COVID hit, and it's like everybody started dabbling in it, and then
Hmm.
the more and more time has passed, it's like bigger and bigger names are getting into it.
Yeah. It was the one sport that you could do very easily for social distancing.
Yeah, yeah,
Because I mean, if you're playing one on one, you riding in your cart by yourself. Oh, buddy tees up. He walks in. You go out and tee, and then if y'all both not even in the fairway, y'all not even gonna cross each other until y'all get to the putting green.
right,
So,
right.
yeah. So just kind of getting into more of our main kind of conversation that I just wanted to kind of think about. So, like when you think about golf today, like we were just talking about how it, what we saw it back in the COVID time and into now. When you think about golf today, do you think it has become more diverse? And if so, why or why not?
I definitely think it has become more diverse, um, and I don't really know how to pinpoint where and why it started becoming more diverse.
Hmm.
For example, I'm in a social group now. It's about 10 guys in it, and it's all black guys. And it was just something I stumbled like I met one of the guys playing in the Birdie Brothers tour. I met another guy at a golf social event, and that event was put on by three black guys.
Mm,
So
yeah.
like I don't know what it was. It could have been um you're familiar with Roger Steele.
Hmm.
It could have been him being like a catalyst for it because he was, promoting Eastside Golf at one point. He was promoting Trap Golf at another point. Both were black owned brands. So maybe he had a hand in it. That had a hand in it for me at least. Seeing him in that space and then growing rapidly, and then just kind of I don't know, just being out on the course and you seeing other guys that look like us, which several years ago it probably wasn't the case.
No, no, not at all. But no, it definitely is. 'Cause I like that you mentioned that because I had just recently, like I've been playing for a little bit of time as well, and most of the tournaments or like things that I got invited to, typically were not. I mean, you have a good group of maybe a diverse group of people, but like I've done a few that like maybe my parents' church has done or whatever. Like it is a
Hmm.
predominantly more kind of black tournament. But the first one that I've played that was black owned was actually by a golf guy, which I think is a former NBA player that is running it. I have to double check that, but they ran the Charlotte FAMU like alumni tournament that we did in Carolina Lakes, and then but I've seen that, and then I've also seen doing a private tournament at a private club at Longview. Here in Charlotte, but there was still a different group of people that were out there, and I wasn't like the only black man out there playing in the tournament at a country
Yeah,
club where you don't see us at all really much to
yeah.
begin with.
And I married into a family that golfs, and they belong to country clubs. And I go to these country clubs for events and stuff, and I look around, it's like the only other black person here or person of color in general is on staff. They're working in the
Hmm.
kitchen, they're serving.
Yeah.
So it over the years, I've been with my wife now 14 years, no, 12 years. We got together in 2014, but I still haven't seen the country club scene grow from just me sitting at the table
Hmm.
as a guest versus me being there as a server or a cook or anything. And I mean, they're members at three different clubs, and it's the same. We're just, you know, there this past weekend at a club, and it was kind of like just me. I think when we went to the pool, I saw one other, brown person.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's nice seeing other guys in there. And I think on top of like the Roger helping diversify the games, we've had Tiger for a long time, but seeing Harold Varner on tour
Yeah.
a while back and he got a win, I think that also kind of catapulted a little bit.
Hmm. And somebody else that looked like us being in that position to win in that type of category. And I'm even actually proud of him for taking, the live opportunity to, get some guaranteed money and help better himself, not only himself, but his
Absolutely.
family. Because I know that was a whole big, gripe, and we ain't got to, get too far into that. But I know that that was a big issue for a lot of players from the PGA side. But I'm like, I understand the personal and like personal motivation that they had for that.
That is a life-changing opportunity.
Hmm.
Rather, if you agree with it or not, you, that's hard to turn down that kind of money
But yeah.
guaranteed to continue doing what you love to do.
And to play less, all the stuff that they had. Granted, they got their challenges now, but
Right.
it definitely was a good thing. Um, you kind of actually hit on one of the other questions I was going to bring up was just like, have you ever felt like you kind of stood out because you were the only, black golfer on the course? And I'm sure we've probably been in that type of situation where you probably were. I mean, I know when we played, I don't think we saw anybody that looked like us until we got through the ninth hole, and then they were coming out later. So,
Yeah.
but like kind of going back to like what you were saying about the being a married into a family that's a part of a country club and just kind of experiencing that. Um, just recently was celebrating my god mom's her husband had a 80th birthday party at a country club in Greensboro, and again kind of same thing. I'm only really seeing the workers, but like
Hmm.
the thing that I kind of stick my mind thinks on is like the people that come in that are the regulars. They're coming in full on conversation. Hey Sally, how you doing? Hey Bob, what's going on? Like that community that was in there. What do you think needs to happen to start seeing more of that change where more of us are actually having those opportunities, whether it's the logistics of just paying the money for it or whatever the case may be? What do you think needs to happen or continue as the game of golf continues to grow? What do you think needs to happen to start seeing more of us at those country clubs when we go?
Um, I think it's the small guys like us, to the big guys that are in this space, or whether it be podcasts or posting on Instagram or TikTok or wherever it is. I think the more visibility of us, out there, the more people I think will start to feel more comfortable with, inquiring about memberships at country clubs or just going out for golf outings at these places. Visibility is, key for a lot of different things. So I think in a smaller kind of way, we're having a major impact in it just by being vulnerable and putting ourselves out there. So I
Yeah, definitely.
and I hate to say it, but another way would just, on an economic standpoint, once we start getting in those financial situations, it'll
Hmm.
probably open up a lot more for us too.
Hmm. Oh yeah, for sure. And have you kind of switching a little bit here? So like any time that you've been playing since COVID, or any like playing on the country clubs or playing at these private golf courses, public golf courses as well. Have you ever experienced something at a golf course that made you feel especially welcomed? And then also, have you felt the opposite, where you maybe felt like you weren't necessarily so welcome?
Can't say I've felt the opposite, um, just because I kind of put on blinders a lot of time, to where I'm laser focused. Um, the first time I played at the course we played at though, when I walked in, I was with a different group and kind of got a weird look from the lady that was behind the counter. And it made sense once I started looking around, seeing some of the paraphernalia around there and everything.
Hmm.
But I still didn't necessarily feel uncomfortable just because of who I was with. Um, but as far as feeling welcomed on the course, anytime I see us on staff, like I played at Grandover yesterday in Greensboro,
Hmm.
and when I walked into the clubhouse, there was a younger white guy and an older black guy. And the black guy walked me out and, he was telling me, hey, on hole number 4, it looks deceiving. Don't hit it to the left side. You still want to be on the right side. It was like, if you hit
Hmm.
it anywhere center left, your ball is gone. So just, kind of things like that when I walk into a club and, I'm seeing other people that look like me. I feel very welcome when you
Hmm.
see more of us. But I haven't really, can't pinpoint a time where I haven't necessarily felt unwelcomed at a course. And part of that I think is because of how it's growing. Now, when I first started, it was digital check-ins and stuff. So like played at Sunset Hill where you check in on your phone, you don't have to see anybody.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely an interesting time too, because I think I had picked up just right before that time period of COVID. I mean, obviously COVID, we kind of shut down. I really wasn't playing any golf whatsoever. So my golf game definitely was hurting during that time period. But that's an interesting point to say, like when you first started playing, you weren't necessarily needing to see anybody in a sense. But then it's like now on the back end, I'm wondering how, or what's the mindset of the golf owner, the manager, the superintendent that's now seeing that the game has changed. Because I know we have here in the Charlotte area, we have, Harry L. Jones and Charles Sifford, which are two predominantly black-based golf courses that we have that are owned by the city. But seeing all these other locations now, like even when I went out to Seabrook, I will say I didn't see too many of people that looked like me as well. But it's not to say that I didn't. I was even interested to look at the demographics of the area, and it obviously was like 90% predominantly white American, but the 4% was a mixture between like Asian, Black, and all that other stuff. So it's not to say that we may not necessarily be seeing it is a result, the natural result of it not actually happening. But so
Mm.
I am grateful that you haven't experienced anything like that. I can say I've had a few moments myself where that intent's kind of been there, like just some small little things that's like I'd never heard of, like somebody saying, um, if all of our guys weren't there, we had to still pay for them if we wanted to play. And I'm like, I'm not paying for somebody who can't come. Like that doesn't make any
Nah,
sense. To where the point to me and my dad, we ended up leaving that golf course, went somewhere else, and found a tee time. So luckily, shout out to the golf course in Jamestown, they were able to take care of us. I can't even remember the other golf course, but we've had a few where it's kind of
yeah.
been like that. And kind of transition into that, like if you I guess I'll ask it this way: what would you tell a young black kid who is interested in golf but doesn't see many of us out there, what would you tell him that he should be looking for? How, like, what would you tell him if he's just saying, like, I want to get into it, but I'm not seeing a lot of us out there?
Mm. I don't know. Um, I would probably suggest going to a driving range first because the local driving range I'm at, they're very welcoming. That's why I've gone for so many years now. Everybody on their staff is very nice. But on top of that, I also see a lot of black people at my local range.
Hmm.
So I would tell them to go to a range, usually sometime after 5 or when it's cooling down in the summer. and you'll see us out there. And a lot of times we're approachable. So I would just advise that, and then go from there. Like, start making connections with those guys that you might find at the range, and seeing if there's groups that you can join. Um, I found Birdie Brothers Tour because I was just on Instagram looking for black golfers, and with the name like Birdie Brothers Tour Golf Tour, I was like, oh, that's got to just be a bunch of black guys. Now it's a diverse group, but that was what triggered me to even follow in the first place. Was I'm looking for more golfers that look like me online in the
Hmm.
social space, so that I can have more friends to go out and play golf with. Um, so those are, two avenues I would tell a younger golfer to explore, especially with the popularity of social media. Is
Hmm.
It's easy to find pretty much anything on there now.
Yeah, definitely for sure. Like I've been in that same boat of trying to see. Because, like, I mean, I know for a good bit, especially when I kind of shifted into really trying to dive, headfirst in again back into, the content creating space with, golf content and everything else. I had already knew about, before, like all of us know Rick Shields, all of us know, Peter Finch and, Brad Dalkey and all these other guys that have been doing these different type of things.
Hmm.
And what I started to notice though, same thing was like, I'm not seeing a lot of guys that look like us. I mean, even the Internet Invitational. I mean, no, no shape, no shame to who they invited, but Roger Steele was the only one that
Right.
looked like us outside of Melosi, who is, I believe, of Samoan or like Hawaiian descent.
Something. Right.
So like seeing that, it's like, okay, cool, we got that, and then Roger Steele is he's back on the YGT with Grant Horvat, Wesley Bryan, and George Bryan, all those guys. But again, I'm seeing like I don't see a lot of us as content creators as well to help, like you said, bridge that gap for the young kids to say, hey, yeah, this is or it has been known as a possibly a white man's game, but it is not limited to that. And um, because I even just found recently, like Homie Golf. I didn't even know he's probably been doing it for a little bit, but I
He has
just
been.
found
I was
his
about to
stuff.
say, yeah.
Like I literally watched two videos of his just because I'm like, well, obviously I want to support, but I'm like, they're actually decent videos. He's not doing too much. He's just simply just going out and playing golf. Um, when it comes to
Um,
the social media thing, and I didn't want to cut you off, but when it comes to the social media thing, what do you like? Is there something that we can do to shift outside of what we may have already discussed to help grow that aspect of it? Like, is it maybe, a development of a YouTube tournament where it's, predominantly black men that are playing or a black organization that's actually just, filming what they're already doing? Like, what do you think needs to happen to kind of help build the aspect on the YouTube social media side for us as well?
I think joining together as a community, seeing each other's stuff and sharing it, liking it, putting it out there. I think that'll help everybody in the long run. And that's something that I try to do whenever I'm on just kind of doom scrolling on TikTok. If I see a golfer that looks like us, I'm gonna check their page. If they're posting mostly golf stuff, then yeah, I'm gonna drop them a follow. I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna repost it or whatever. Um, I think that helps us both grow. And then I think it helps our small community of black golfers continue to grow. Um, when you're talking about homie golf, there's another Charlotte golfer.
Yep, Charlotte. Yeah.
He is a stick.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I think he's scratch if I'm not mistaken. I've seen
yeah,
a few of his stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I want to play him yet.
yeah. I've met him in person. Like, cool dude.
Mm,
65 gross. I've met him a couple times.
okay.
Seeing him out on the courses, like, I the more those guys grow, I think we can kind of follow behind their path because they are guys with 10K plus followers.
Hmm.
They're not quite Roger Steele level, but they're right there. Like, their names are being spoken. So, like,
Right.
following kind of how they're continue to do things, sharing each other's stuff, we can all grow. I think that helps put us out there so that we have more of the Rogers, more of the homie golfs, the Charlottes. Um, it It's gonna take some time because, like, even then, the Brad Dalkeys or Grant Horvat, so good golf, they didn't blow up overnight. So it's gonna take some time. I think we can't try and rush it.
Hmm.
If it's gonna be done properly, we have to kind of slow cook it and just work at it, and then it will take off.
I like
That's
that.
just
That's one.
that's just how I kind of see it.
Oh no, I like that. I was just thinking, it's one thing that we good at. Is we know how to. Some people know how to put something down. We can cook something, but like the slow cook is the good thing to the process of just taking your time, making sure you got the right ingredients, making sure you got everything dialed in and ready to go, and you're not, cooking it too fast or you burning it. Because then that's another thing. You get completely trying to do so much, you burnt out, and you like, I can't do none of it anymore. And then are we losing
Hmm.
somebody who may have had a footprint or a fingerprint on what the community is looking for? Definitely, definitely for one, appreciate the conversation. Like I said, that open, honest kind of conversation with that. I'm gonna hit you with some quick rapid fire questions real quick though.
Let's
So I'm
get
gonna
it.
try to keep you on your toes as best I can. Starting off, driver or three wood.
Three hybrid. I'll
Ah,
tell you
okay.
why. If I catch the center of that three hybrid off
Uh-huh.
a tee, just slightly elevated, I'm hitting it just as far. I played in the scramble this past weekend. They did it different, so they had three tees, red, blue, and white, or blue, white, red, and we could pick six holes to play from each tee. We played a par four that was reachable for one of our guys in the group with his driver.
Hmm.
Well, not even with his driver. He hit three wood. He reached the green. It was 276 to the 10. I hit my three hybrid and we had a 15-foot putt.
There you go.
So three hybrid.
I'm not mad about it. Walk or ride.
Ride. I have recently thought about getting the push cart so that I could walk some after work.
Hmm.
But right now, ride for sure.
Okay. If I would say, if you start walking, only do 9.
Yeah.
Don't put yourself out
Yeah.
there for 18. And if you got a short course that's not that long, like what we played, that'll be good. Less heels too, because that'll mess you up.
Now, when I worked at a golf course, I worked at Charlotte Golf Club. We could
Hmm.
walk the course on Mondays after work. Now, I did that a few times and it wasn't bad. Probably would have been better if I wasn't like fresh off of working all day and then
Yeah,
playing. But
makes sense.
yeah, right now, ride for sure.
Okay. Favorite golf course.
Oh, um, Jefferson Landing. It's a semi-private course. It's got like a community around it, but it's in the mountains and it has some very beautiful views.
Hmm. I'd rather put that one down. Dream golf course.
I don't know if I have a dream. Oh, yeah, I do. Augusta National for sure.
Okay, I was about to say you can't not just exclude Augusta now. Like
Augusta National
no
for
dream
sure.
golf course, Augusta, Merrifield, TPC, Sawgrass. Like
See, my mind went to TPC Sawgrass first, and I was like, that's kind of attainable, maybe, but Augusta's not attainable. So,
no, yeah, Augusta's definitely a lot harder. Favorite golf brand.
favorite golf brand right now, I have to say Mail Rig on Amazon. That's what the shirt is. Not sponsored, no free shout but I mean, their stuff is relatively priced. It feels good. It's lightweight. So I'm gonna have to go with them right now.
Okay. New plug in. If you need it, go ahead and get it. What's always in your golf bag besides clubs?
Speaker.
Gotta
Um,
have the music.
you gotta have something. I've lost a couple speakers, but a speaker, and then a close second will be a magnetic phone holder.
Mm,
Those
that's
come in
clutch. I
kind of
actually just
clutch.
I just got one over here on my desk, and I forget it almost every time I done bought it now. So one of these days I'm gonna remember to take it out there. All right. Who's winning in a scramble? It's you and Scotty Scheffler versus 420 handicappers.
Yeah, Scotty for sure.
Okay. But
420
they also
handicappers.
playing, yeah, 420 handicappers, but they playing from the red, the senior tee. Y'all playing from the
I,
tips.
I'm still I'm still taking me and Scotty. I mean, I can put Scotty on my back and carry him through the through the finish line.
Fair enough. Well, just let them putt. If you get them there, you can let them putt, and you good. One course that everybody should play.
um, I guess depending on what area you're in, um, I'm gonna go with Morrisville Country Club. It's a really nice course.
Okay.
Um, I have been told lately it's hard to get onto, just because of how golf has grown. But if you can
Hmm.
get on there or Lincolnton Country Club, Both of those are really nice for the area they're in. Not overpriced, in my opinion. Um, Great times.
Most embarrassing golf moment.
I was on my way to Raleigh, saw a golf course, so I just stopped just to play, get out there. No warm up, anything. There's a group in front of me of four, but they saw I was by myself. So it was like, hey, you can go ahead and play. I'm in front of us if you want to. It's like, all right, perfect. I get up there and I overswung and missed the ball completely.
Not a whiff.
Like I think I swung hard enough to where like the wind from the club knocked the ball off the tee because there was no contact, but
Right.
the ball came off the tee.
Mm.
And I feel like I heard the girl behind me laugh. I could be wrong, but in my mind, she definitely laughed at me.
No, she chuckled for sure.
Yeah,
I don't care. I chuckle at myself
yeah.
half time because I've been doing that lately, and I'm like,
I have I
what
did
is
it
going
twice
on?
yesterday, and I was like, dude, are you okay?
Yeah, like it's like I ain't done this in years. What's going on? Last rapid fire. One piece of advice for weekend golfers.
Keep swinging. Keep
It's a good
swinging.
one. All right. Last full question I have, I call this one the 19th hole. It's just kind of like that little one sided question that you could have kind of, as you're wrapping things up and we're on the inside of it. One thing also I want to do to ask all of our guests that we have on the podcast, I want you to finish this sentence. Golf is, and you finish.
Addicting. Um, Once that bug bites you, you're hooked. I haven't met anyone that has said, I've gone out and played golf and I've never doing it again. And actually never done it again because we've all said, I'm never playing this game again. And then we'll book a tea time for the next weekend. So,
Yeah, I think golf is that sport where you can retire more than Brett Favre.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
I've retired plenty of times and have unretired in the same 15 minutes that I retired. Uh,
Mhm. It's
but
like when you have too many to drink and you're over the toilet. And it's like, God, if you get me through this night, I'm not going to drink anymore.
hmm
You go out there and you duff a chip or something. It's like, God, I'm never playing this game again. And you're right
yeah,
back.
you get a birdie on 18 and you're like, all right, I'll be here next week.
Hmm. Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
JP, I appreciate you, man, hopping on the cast. Definitely excited to do some more stuff. We got to get together again, play some golf, get some double content, cross content going together. But
Absolutely.
first, definitely appreciate you. Thank you, sir, for jumping on the podcast.
Yeah,
Any
thanks for
final
having me.
words? Oh, yeah,
Make sure you're following us both, JP underscore swings and the weekend golfer. If you're following me, follow him. If you're following him, come on over.
absolutely. Just cross pollinate, like we were just talking about, get everything building for those of us of color to continue to grow this game and invite other people into this game that is seems frustrating, but it is very relaxing, it is very fun, and it's also a way to connect with people that you would never think you can create with, get in places that you never thought you could be, all that good stuff. So, but again, appreciate you, man. You have a safe night and be safe out there. All right, weekend golfers, I certainly hope that you guys enjoyed the conversation that you just were able to hear. If you have anything that you want to add, anything that you're seeing that you want to mention about the diversity or just how this game of golf has just shifted to not only just different areas of diversity, but how it's just changed overall, definitely let us know. Leave a comment down below. Also, make sure that you're doing the main things that you should be doing. Make sure you leave a like on this video, you comment, and you subscribe. And as always, y'all be blessed until the next one.